Credit video. Welcome to
news out of North Gotham at this hour, where protest has turned to celebration. Under extreme pressure from Gotham's citizens, Mayor Hill has just announced his resignation. While Hill has not ruled out a possible run for re-election in the new year, his resignation means that Peter Grogan will likely not be the next police commissioner of Gotham. Speculation has already begun about who the new mayor will appoint as commissioner, with many pundits naming GCPD Captain James Gordon as the frontrunner. And now to South Gotham, where Vicky Vale brings us this live report.
Thanks, Janine. I'm standing at the corporate headquarters of GothCorp, where Captain Gordon has confirmed that GothCorp CEO Ferris Boyle has been taken into police custody. Police report that Mr. Boyle stands accused of manslaughter, extortion, and attempted murder. Shocking accusations given that just earlier tonight, he accepted the Wayne Foundation's award for Humanitarian of the Year. Also in custody is the notoriously elusive underworld crime boss Oswald Cobblepot, better known as the Penguin, as well as a GothCorp cryogenicist, Victor Freeze. Mr. Freeze is being held under heavy guard at Gotham General, receiving treatment for an undisclosed medical condition. Quincy Sharp has suggested that Mr. Freeze is yet another example of the type of criminal that needs the specialized care that only Arkham Asylum can provide. Police credit these arrests to solid police work, but this reporter suspects the vigilante known as the Batman had more than a small role to play. On a personal note, I owe Batman a debt of gratitude for rescuing me from almost certain death earlier this evening. So, thank you, Batman. For all of us. Back to you, Janine.
Thanks, Vicky. The Batman continues to be one of the top stories this holiday season. So as we here at GNN wish you all a happy and safe New Year's Eve, we'll leave you with just a few of the comments you've made about Gotham's caped crusader.
I was surrounded. Next thing you know, bam, boom, kapow! The bastards are all on the ground, KO'd. I didn't even see him coming.
Oh, it was all a blur. He just whooshed in out of nowhere.
Listen, I'm a cop. I can't condone what he does. I can be grateful he's doing it.
Oh, he's real, all right. I got the bruises to prove it. He's real, he's ruthless, and there ain't nothing in the world that's gonna stop him.
I'm BurningDogFace, and I'd like to welcome you to the credit video for Let's Play Cold, Cold Heart, the DLC chapter for Batman Arkham Origins. That was a short gameplay segment before this. Maybe I'll just make them into one video. I don't know. I honestly haven't decided yet. I mean, you'll know, but whatever. That was a really, really good DLC, I gotta say. New areas, new gadgets, a new suit. And of course it worked with one of my favorite villains. Bit disappointing that the final confrontation wasn't as memorable as the boss fight with Mr. Freeze in Arkham City. You know, where he would, or you would do something and he would actively change the rules so that you couldn't do that again. But, again, that was my favorite part of one of my favorite games of all time. So, I'm not exactly surprised it didn't, you know, live up to that. I'm not holding that against them, particularly. Especially since they did such a great job with what they had. You know, I said it before, and, you know, I'm still kind of surprised to be saying it again, but, sorry about that. I had to hit the mute button in order to sneeze while the credits were still rolling. God, I'm gonna be really embarrassed if you can't hear me from this point on. But, I know I've said it before, but, I feel like Cold Cold Heart was significantly better than the Harley Quinn's Revenge DLC for Arkham City. I mean, yes, they let you play with a different character, but it was one they already had access to from the challenge mode. And again, you know, with this period in Batman's career, there wouldn't be anyone he's working with. You know, that spin-off game, Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate for the Vita, which I believe they're bringing to consoles and PC soon. I understand one of the main events that happens in that game is that Batman meets Catwoman. So this is before they've even met, much less worked, you know, from adversaries to sort of friends. / lovers. I don't know how that works. Yeah. And, you know, they did come up with some pretty good stuff for the, for what they did add, you know. I mean, okay, the gadgets were all just heat-based versions of existing ones. But the XE suit was really cool. You know, I'd kind of like to see more of that stuff, where Batman gets a specialized suit out for some reason. Wow! They must have been... This came out in April. They must have been working on this since the game shipped in October for that many babies to have been born. Yeah, that was the weird thing. Arkham Origins took place on Christmas, but it was released just before Halloween. And Cold Cold Heart takes place on New Year's Eve, but it was released in April. Weird. Yeah, fantastic job to Warner Brothers Montreal for this. You know, I'm just gonna throw the... You know, I usually make a recommendation here, so... If you have Batman Arkham Origins... No, I was gonna get it... Sorry, I wanted to mention this first. I was gonna get this either way, whether it was good or not, because I already purchased the Batman Arkham Origins Season Pass. So as soon as it came out, they Steam automatically downloaded it. So it wasn't a matter of me making the decision to get this or not. Although honestly I probably would have anyway, because Mr. Freeze is my favorite villain, but that's beside the point right now. What I'm going to say is that if you didn't get the Season Pass, if you have Batman Arkham Origins, if you enjoyed Batman Arkham Origins, I wholeheartedly recommend that you play Cold Cold Heart. You know, it's like a nice little microcosm of everything that made Arkham Origins, the main game, great. There's only one big goon and only 1 or 2 martial artists, but you know, they give you a crime scene or two. They let you run around in the... I think they let you. They confine you to the part of Gotham that they made up for this game, as opposed to the parts that were represented by Arkham City. But yes, I wholeheartedly recommend this. Cold Cold Heart was an excellent experience. And I'm really glad now that the Batman Arkham Origins playlist on my channel will end with this instead of with Initiation. Actually kind of regretted that because I felt like it ended on a down note of frustration and you know, disappointment. Come to think of it, that's kind of how I feel about Castlevania Lords of Shadow. Main game was pretty goddamn good, but the final DLC was garbage. Oh well. Thankfully, that's not the case here. Well, you know, I'll be keeping my fingers crossed that either somehow there's a miracle and I can run Batman Arkham Knight when it comes out next year. Or, hey, maybe I'll come into some money and be able to get a new computer. Well, more like an upgrade. I would transfer over the hard drives and everything that makes this one the computer I love so dearly. But yes, hopefully I'll eventually be able to do a Let's Play of Batman Arkham Knight and share with you guys the ending of this saga. You know, I gotta say, a lot of DLCs don't have their own credits. And I have seen cases like with Alan Wake, where both of the DLC chapters simply ran the, what's it called, the credits from the main game. But even considering that I don't play an enormous amount of DLC, of single-player DLC, this is probably the longest credit sequence I've ever seen for one of them. Ravi Varman Murugalignum. Like, Murugalingam. I bet his friends call him Ravi. And yes, of course, there's the note that this game is, of course, Canadian, because it was made in Montreal. Favorite superhero, you know, favorite country, and now my favorite supervillain. I am pretty pleased with this combination. Do. And I do seem to remember that the credits for the main game were the longest credits video I'd ever had. Well, since this is going to take a while and I've kind of run out of things to say about about Cold Heart, I'm going to open this bag and eat this muffin, which I was going to celebrate with once I beat the DLC. Oh, such good muffin. This is silly. It's a chocolate chip muffin, for those of you who might be curious, which is none of you. A little bit depressing to know that Nora's still in that tank years from now. And that's kind of the fate of a comic book character. The status quo rules all. Though I understand that they, when they rebooted the DC Universe, they kind of ruined Mr. Freeze. They made Nora a woman who was frozen in 1943, and Victor is just the creepy researcher who was trying to find a cure for her condition, but started obsessing over Nora the person so much that he eventually became delusional and started believing that she was his wife and they'd had a life together. That's, really depressing. And I feel it kind of misses the entire point of Mr. Freeze, that he's, you know, as a friend of mine put it, DC Comics is much fonder of stark black and white contrasts than Marvel is, where, you know, a lot of the characters are these, even the villains have, you know, their weird sympathetic moments. It always felt like Mr. Freeze stood out all the more for that reason, for being a complicated person who does bad things, but you can understand why he does them. Oh! Timer was about to go off. Bit chewy. The muffin, I mean, not Mr. Freeze's backstory. Oh, and in the new DC universe, it's Bruce's fault. Victor was a Wayne Tech researcher, Wayne Enterprises, I don't remember what they call it in the comics. And when Bruce and when the board of directors decided, Bruce came in person to tell him that the board of directors had decided that the department wasn't profitable enough, so they were pulling the plug, which would essentially leave Nora frozen forever without a cure being researched. So Victor kind of lost his shit and threw a chair at Bruce, who, quietly being Batman, dodged out of the way. And the chair hit a tank full of chemicals, which sprayed all over Victor, and, the rest, I suppose. It's been so long since I played the main game that I don't remember if any of these guys are new. I actually now that I see this with my eyes, I actually remember saying in the end credits video last time that I hate when they do this and they don't list the actor with their character. Oh, these are just the standard credits. God damn it. CCH Pounder. She was only in the first game in the form of that Amanda Waller cameo after the credits. There's Roger Craig Smith, the voice of Batman, by the way. Props, Roger. They are, well, I would say they're replacing him, but it was made clear that the reason, for the next game, I mean, but it was made clear through a series of PR slip-ups that the reason they couldn't get Kevin Conroy from, Batman the Animated Series to play Batman in this game was that he was already busy recording the Batman dialogue for Batman Arkham Knight. So it's not so much that they're replacing him as that they couldn't get him for this game because they were being made at the same time. Robert Puff. For some reason that name amuses me. Wonder if people just call him Mr. Puff for the sake of it. Oh. I wonder if there'll be an after-credit scene for this. I remember very vividly how the Heart of Ice episode ended. That was one of the images that always stuck with me, even as the other details faded. I wonder what that means. Characters, Concept 6, more vodka, Steambot. That's right, kids. Everything they introduced in Cold Cold Heart, which came out in 2014, is not covered by those copyrights. So go ahead and do whatever you want with them. In no event shall the Foundation or contributors be liable for any direct, indirect, incidental, special, exemplary, or consequential damages. Really, guys? Really? You feel this is necessary to put in the credits? No, I'm not sticking all this on the video. 3 it is! Even if one of them is only like 7 minutes long.
Congratulations, sir. Victor, Ferris, and even that scoundrel Cobblepot are all in custody. Shall we call it a night, then?
Not yet, Alfred. There's still work to be done.
I was wondering about that. You know, because there's all those things to unlock. Still gotta find 5 frozen peoples, and, you know, a whole shitload of, anarchy tags. This is one thing that, Harley Quinn's Revenge specifically didn't do. Although I understood why, given that, like, I believe that DLC ends with Harley Quinn blowing up the steel mill. It was the Joker's headquarters in Arkham City.
I'm not dumb enough to think we can take him out. Maybe we should reconsider our job options. Whoa. I wouldn't go that far. As long as we play smart, don't draw any attention to ourselves, we should be okay.
Oh, that was so satisfying. Come on. Hell. Yeah! And stay down. Well, with that farewell salute, let me just... Yes. Wanted to get a nice shot of that for my Steam collection. Ahem. You?
Damn cold. I'll survive.
Oh well. You're welcome, friend. And I've swooped off with the appropriate amount of mysteriousness.
Do not engage. Repeat, do not engage. We have no means of providing backup. Air 2, standing by.
I'm BurningDogFace, and I thank you for joining me for Let's Play the for this Let's Play of the Cold Heart DLC, and for Let's Play Batman Arkham Origins in general. I've really enjoyed going on this journey with you guys, and I hope you felt the same way. I'll see you on my next video series. Later!